of having this trapped court to do a couple things. And when you get ready to retire, you start thinking about what do you want to say when you get your chance to get up here? And just as importantly, what do you not want to say when you get your chance to get up here? So I decided that what I want to talk about is how blessed I've been and how grateful I am for all of the things that have happened. First of all, I'm blessed to have a room full of people that if you are on the list to come here today, it's because I admire and respect you totally. This was not an open wide invitation to folks. It was to people that I truly consider to be top professionals in the field that are here right now and in the community. Mike Clover, I cannot tell you what it means for you to be here. And for those of you, I don't know if everybody knows Mike, but they talk about power couples and they talk about them in a different context. But Mike and Pam are the true power couples for Tinker Air Force Base in this community. And what the two of you do together is just something, it's a debt we'll never be able to replace. So thank you very much for being here. I'm also blessed to have what I consider to be the best public affairs staff in the Air Force. Colonel and Bob touched on it a little bit, and just to kind of put it in perspective for you, when I got here in 2006, within a year, actually within 2 years, we saw a 65% reduction in manning. My budget from 2008 into 2013, when we terminated the contract, went from 1.4 million to about 10,000. We stood up the center, which went, fairly well until, as the Colonel alluded to, we got some new goalposts set for us. And she will tell you that I have not been silent about about the challenges of those goalposts. And so one of the things, I know I'm kind of rambling here, but that's what I do in the game.
Yeah.
Is that the one thing I've tried to do is I started off in the Air Force in 1971. My first duty assignment was in Strategic Air Command. So I've been, I don't know if you can say this anymore, but I've been SAC. And so, and the thing about being raised in SAC, and I had 3 assignments in SAC, is that I think there's a reason why in the Air Force we say integrity first. And in SAC, you were taught integrity first. Integrity in every single thing you did. And it's my firm belief if SAC was still SAC, we would not have the nuclear issues that we have in our Air Force today. But what that did teach me is that integrity is important. The process is important, not only the CPI process, but the process and how you just do things, and there's a right way and a wrong way. And I know I've made a lot of mistakes over the years, but I've always tried to do things the right way. And I do leave the Air Force believing that if not my dignity, at least my integrity is intact. But I've been blessed. I've had jobs from the time that I was in and through now that very few people get to do. I mean, I've been very blessed. I've got to meet great people, truly great people. When we were doing the hostage returns out of Beirut, I got to spend a lot of time with Terry Waite, and I don't know if you remember Terry Waite or not, but he was the envoy for the Archbishop of Canterbury, who actually was responsible for getting the hostages out of Beirut. It wasn't only North, it wasn't all that phony stuff that he did, and I can tell you, as I stand here on a Bible, that that man lied repeatedly to Congress and to the world. But the reason I raised Terry Waite is because the Colonel talked about bravery. And it was my job to take him back to the airport after the last hostage return. And I said, well, Terry, we'll see you in a few months. And he looked at me and he said, I won't be coming back. And so he went back to Beirut knowing that after Iran-Contra, what was waiting for him. And he did get to come back, but it was 5 years later. And everything he thought was going to happen to him did. And that's the definition of bravery in my mind. So having people like that in your life really helps to, to set a standard for you. And so, but just a little bit again back about the PA team. I mean, you guys are amazing. What you have done, I know Colonel Wilson and Bob, they see it. I'm not sure the rest of the base sees it, especially, no offense, Chrissy, but on the other side of the base. And literally everyone who's ever come from that side to this side is just astounded at how hard you have to work in the 72nd base line. And not everybody is able to deal with that. And but I mean, it's tough over here, and it's a hard row. And what keeps us together is family, and of course, family squabbles. And we've had our squabbles, but we've also had our great moments of success when we've hugged each other and loved each other. And I just hope that you guys will continue to do that and continue to communicate with each other. When I was at Randolph, I was the chief of current ops, media and internal, and there was a wonderful lady who was chief of Comrel. And when the boss left, we kind of did this because we were each trying to kind of run things. And we couldn't figure out what the deal was because we thought the other one was trying to usurp us. And it turned out that both of our PDs said that in the absence of the chief, we were the chiefs. So once we actually sat down and talked, we had a great relationship and everything worked fine. So talking to each other is the important thing, and I ask that you guys do that. And so just don't ever forget, no matter what anybody else ever says, you are the best, and you deserve all of the praise for all of the work that you do, and you do remarkable things for your Air Force every day, all of you. And then everybody else that's in here, the rest of the staff, I mean, just amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. My best friends in the whole world are sitting here, Doris and Lewis Livingston. I don't know what we'd have done without them. When we decided to buy a new house, we actually bought a house in the same neighborhood because we didn't want to be very far from them. We bought our car so that he could fit in it. And anyway, so thank you for being here. And then, where's my big guy? Okay, so, we got a few things here that you're supposed to do. So my family. Mindy, you come up. Second.
Can I bring somebody with you?
Yes, you can. You can take this. All right. And that's since she's up here.
Oh.
This is almost as big as you are. Sweet. All right. But I gotta have those of you know I'm on his meds that make my throat dry. Okay, oh, that's so much better. So, she's been with me since 1981, and she's been through every war, every successful battle. She's been my best friend, my partner. I don't know what I would have done without her. I know I would be nothing without her. She turned my life around, and I'm so proud that you're my wife. And I do want to talk a little bit about, just real quickly, about spouses and the role they play and the service to our nation that they provide that isn't always recognized. And I don't think most people in the United States understand. When we were in Europe, she'll remember this day, I had to take her out and teach her how to search for bombs under our car. Because I was assigned to UCOM headquarters, and there were only 500 of us at the whole headquarters, and we were all on target lists. And so that's a pretty sobering thing when you're a young line. But anyway, she's been through it all, and I just want to thank you for everything you do. I got one more. Thank you. Jessica. All right. This is for you. Oh, well, she's crying for two. My other daughter couldn't make it up for this weekend. She's going to come up in a couple others, but my two daughters are a big part of my life, and I'm so proud of both of them. I'm so glad that you and Patrick have found each other, and most importantly that I got this one here, who's a special part of my life, aren't you? Yeah. In fact, her natural habitat is crawling up on my lap in the recliner. So, anyway, I think I've run off the mouth long enough. Again, Mike, Mark, you go around the room, Jerry and Michael and Ron, all of you. Thank you so much for being such a great family. Jillian, everybody. I'm just, there's Kimberly down there doing everything. Kelly, and you know, it's just been such a great 11 years. Well, 9.5 years, but and I do want to say this. In my thank yous, I don't want to neglect a certain person, so I do want to say thank you to General Levy. And,
that was awesome.
There's a little inside joke that goes with that, but anyway, I really do, because he helped me get to this day, and I'll just leave it at that.